long after he made his recovery did Mr. Petty start racing?
Oh, Marsh was
44.
he started racing 5 years.
And it
49, I think, was the first.
And it was
he
a
raced.
It was a family affair. I mean, you
Oh,
all...
absolutely. All the way. We went and enjoyed it. Always take a picnic lunch.
That's already in the book.
We always had something to eat. I mean, because you didn't have a hamburger joint on every corner, and so you know.
You slept in the car too at times.
Well, we did a few times, but not much. And modern cabins.
Yeah, modern cabins are people with homes that run out running.
Yeah. We have stayed in tourist homes. But we all went and enjoyed it.
Well, when you went, now you always, I know that you always scored.
Mm-hmm.
What's your feelings about racing then, and your feelings about it now?
No, I like it too.
It's more fun then. It's more fun then. Nobody had any money, and everybody just went with what they had. They done their own work. Most of them owned their own cars, and so you just went and enjoyed it.
First 2 or 3 years, I didn't own mine. Finance company owned it.
Well, you and the finance company owns your car.
What's the biggest difference you see in racing nowadays and racing in the early days?
Well, if you ain't got several $1 million back of you, you better stay at home.
Difference of sponsorship. That's a difference.
Everybody has to have a sponsor now, because you couldn't make it like we did then. And then too, it's not no fun because it's just dog eat dog.
You'd pull into a motel, and if you had a race car behind it, you didn't watch it run you out. And you'd go to a dealer, and they wouldn't have nothing to do with you.
So it's just, it's just altogether different.
You're considered rednecks back then.
Day and night.
Yeah, that's right.
Be like a motorcycle gang running in there now.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a rough crowd, but they wasn't.
We'd been rough, but we so wore out all the time we couldn't be rough on them.
Stayed on the road.
Well, so when the boys get out of school, then we go north, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And we always went. And they always went with us.
Well, I know that Mr. Petty was a Grand National Champion, and that you probably sampled some fame then. How did you feel about it?
Fame? We didn't know what fame was.
Champion and being a better run last.
Answer the question that's on this paper. Well, how did you feel that? How did you feel then and now that your husband and your sons and your grandchildren are a household name?
We could tell them, Sean.
Well, not really all that much difference.
They're still just your husband and sons and your grandchildren.
My family. And I loved them then, and I love them now.
How do you feel about your grandchildren going into the business?
Well,
you've got one that's established, and you've got one that works for a team, and you have two that think they want to do it. Now, how do you feel about that?
What them two that thinks they want to do ought to go to college and get this racing. Marshall, go in there and cut that fuzz off.
You want it off? It ain't hurting it.
I know, but I want them both off. Time's wasting. Might burn it up. No, because it's just harder to get into it now. Because then you bought your car, you worked on your car, and you had some friends, and they'd go with you and help you some, or the other people's pits would help. You helped one another in the pits when you was away from home. And now, you don't do that. Everybody's got all they can do to do their own, and unless you've got a lot of money behind you, you don't have a chance. There's no way. And it's not easy. It's a hard hard work.
But you would support them if they
Oh,
did, I
if
know
they
that.
want to do it and can do it, more power to them. I'll help them any way I can.
Well, how about, I think Mr. Petty was kind of forced to retire because he had the bad wreck at Daytona.
Right.
What's
Right.
your comments on his wreck and his retirement as far as being an active race driver? You want to make any comments on his wreck?
No, it was just terrible. It was bad.
And that was another time in your life that you spent weeks of standing by one of your family members till they recuperated, and you
Let's see.
spent months at the...
March, April, May. I think we stayed down there 4 months. He stayed in the hospital 4 months.
And you stayed there with him the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bleed up.
And it was rough, and I know it's rough out there, but it's really no rougher than it is with a lot of other things. And so he couldn't race anymore, and he was
They can't
happy.
make no season yet, so they finally get down.
After he decided that he couldn't and didn't want to, well, then everything worked out, and then we went to work with the boys
You
and
got a favor me.
Yeah, that.
You don't want
pushed them out there, let them have
strong
it,
argument.
helped them all we could.
And you stood behind them both for, I know, the last 25, 26
Yeah.
years.
Yep, anything they want, they, as long as it's legal.
Don't see what hurt like that.
Well, what's your comments on your daughter-in-law that's asking all these questions?
Well, she don't need a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff she already knows.
Are you writing them down?
She's right there.
Oh, you are writing them down.
Keep your mouth shut.
Oh, I better watch out what I say.
So, that's
I
just
think
about it. But anyway, we've had a good life, and we've enjoyed it. And the boys has enjoyed it, and they've got a lot of pleasure. Used to, that's all you got out of it, really, was the pleasure.
No, I don't know.
And you met a lot of made a lot of friends, and we still have a lot of friends that we met years and years ago and raced with. So, but it's just a different world out there now.
Well,
even
I would
in any
say
kind
that
of a
two
job.
of your closest friends have the friendships developed through
through racing.
racing.
Through racing.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
In other
And
words,
so-
when we started racing, we had to race to make money.
Names, right.
Who are your, tell me about your
Oh.
friends.
Catherine Johnson is a nurse, and she was the head nurse at the hospital in Daytona when Lee was down there, and we met her and become great friends, still great friends. And then the Sins, we met them through racing.
They were just fans of Mr. Petty.
Yeah, they were just race fans. And so then we've known them for gosh, how many years? 35?
Ever since we started racing, because we started going to Spartanburg in 1950, so we met them down
Ever
there.
since then.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
a lot of water run under the bridge since then. But it's just it's just altogether different.
Well, when we
Now
started
than it
racing,
was.
we had to go to the racetrack. We had to make enough money so we could get to the next racetrack. And we done that for years and years and years. And then in 1955, 56, the factories began to get into it. And then he got a little sponsorship. And then O'Keefe came in with his powerful Chryslers. And we had to compete against him as an individual. But then in 1956, Chevrolet got in it. 57, Ford got into it, Oldsmobile got into it, and then they all curtailed the operation in 57, so we all went back to the original basic driver and what sponsor he could get, which wasn't very much.